Hello and welcome to the inside of the brand new Opel Mokka. What an interesting little looking car this is. I'm immediately attracted to it. It's a great looking car. But before we carry on with the review, I'd like to alert you to a link in the description below. It'll take you to all of our Opel stock on our site, over 840 cars. So if you're looking for a used Opel, you'll probably find one there.
Dream, search, drive. Cars.co.za.
Budget insurance. Affordable because you can't afford not to.
So what is this new Opel Mokka? Excellent question. I've been trying to answer that all morning and I still don't think I really have an answer. It's a 500,000 Rand, very compact SUV crossover thing, which is smaller than, say, something like a Toyota Urban Cruiser, which is half the price, but it's also the same price as like a Hyundai Tucson, which is like twice the size. Look at the size of that Great Dane. That's like a Tucson-sized dog. But it's also very luxurious. It's got options in here that you'll find on cars costing twice as much, but it also doesn't have any backseat space and it has a tiny boot, but it also looks really good. It's also very comfortable to drive. It's also quite fast. Do with that information what you will. It's a very unique offering, but let's maybe try understand where it's come from and then we'll maybe understand what it is. So, Opel is now part of the Stellantis Group, and Stellantis has so many brands that I still have not been able to memorize all of them, but for your entertainment, I'm going to have a crack at it. Here we go. Fiat, Alfa Romeo, Lancia, Maserati, those are the Italian ones, Citroen, Peugeot, DS, those are the French ones, Vauxhall Opel, Dodge, Ram, Chrysler, Jeep, Abarth. Hey! I got it. I think it's the first time I've ever managed to remember all of those brands. And the reason why this is important, the reason why I'm trying to get all these brands across, is because in this age of platform sharing and part sharing, component sharing, limiting your R&D costs, it is very likely that if you buy an Opel, it will have the same engine and chassis as a Peugeot, which will have the same engine and chassis as a Citroen and an Alfa Romeo and a Lancia, and probably one or two of the other cars. So the car I'm sitting in right now might have an Opel badge, but under the bonnet is a PureTech engine, which was developed by the Citroen Peugeot group, and the chassis, the gearbox, etc., all comes from the French side of Stellantis. So how German is this car? Not very German at all. But, and this sounds very strange, this strategy has worked out extremely well for Stellantis. Let me explain. I just had a look at the top 10 best-selling cars in Europe, and 3 of those cars are based on this chassis, the Peugeot 208, the Peugeot 208, and the Opel Corsa, which this car is based on. So this is an incredibly successful product for Stellantis. And to be honest, after spending a couple of days in this car, I can see why. The PureTech engine under the bonnet is quite a peach of a motor. It is a 3-cylinder, it's 1.2 litre, but it's been around for a long time now. It's quite a tried and tested powertrain, and outputs are really strong. 96 kilowatts and 230 newton meters, which makes it quite a bit more powerful than, say, anything that you get in a Polo these days, short of a Polo GTI. So there's quite good poke in here. You got some good oomph under your right foot. So I don't think you'll get bored of driving it. And then somehow they've also managed to combine this athleticism with decent fuel consumption. Now, they claim 6.1 to the 100. I don't think you'll get to 6.1, but I think under 7, especially on the open road, is realistic. When I was driving to the shoot this morning, I was at about 7.9. It's gone up a little bit, but that's almost entirely urban driving. So good fuel economy, good power, and it's a smooth engine as well. It does have a little bit of that 3-cylinder thrum, great word that, thrum. It's a little different to, say, a 4-cylinder motor. It can sound a little bit diesely at times, but at idle it's very, very quiet. And then there's just the overall ride quality, which is particularly impressive in this car. It's a good combination of cabin insulation as well as just a very well sorted suspension. So road imperfections, bumps, that sort of thing, I mean, you know they're there, but they don't disturb you. They don't sort of disturb your peace in the cabin. Very little road noise, almost no wind noise. In terms of a quality, refined experience, this is worthy of something twice the price. So as you've probably picked up by this point in the review, I am very impressed with this car. However, when I pull over in a little bit and take you on a tour of the interior, that's when things start to get a little bit problematic. I like the interior. It's a good interior. Good quality materials. Everything feels pretty good. I'm pretty sure this is automotive leather, as it's known these days. But you even get that in like Mercedes E-classes. I don't know why there's this little strip of Alcantara here. Why is this just this tiny little pocket of Alcantara? Generally though, the seats are a highlight. They're very well designed, they're very comfy, they look very nice with their contrast stitching. I like the way the headrest is designed. They aren't electric, which is pretty strange, but they have a massage function, electric lumbar support adjustment, and they're heated as standard. So it's quite fancy seat, but yeah, you still have to slide it around manually, which is a bit curious. In terms of practicality, quite big storage areas in the doors, a little bin over here, not much happening in there, 2 drinks holders. Down here, a wireless charge pad as standard, USB port, an old-fashioned one, which is good, and a 12-volt socket. And then just in front of the wireless charger, a little Easter egg that Opel throws into their cars for some reason, and it's a graphic of a shark, a great white. That's weird. Why is that there? It's cool, but I don't know why it's there. The infotainment system, very comprehensive, Android Auto and Apple CarPlay as standard, connect your phone, all the rest of it. Very nice digital instrument cluster in front of me, very informative as well. In terms of active safety, the car will steer itself between the lanes. It also has lane keep assist as well, where it just nudges you into the center of the lane. Radar guided cruise control, collision detection avoidance, ABS, EBD, very, very impressive suite of safety features. It's a very high-end, high-tech car in a very compressed body, as I mentioned. There's 3 drive modes to choose from, so you can dial back the throttle response, and the gearbox, the 8-speed gearbox, gets a bit more conservative as well, and that'll bring down your fuel economy. But when you're in a hurry, put it into sport mode, and then this really is quite close to a hot hatch experience. A couple of little curiosities. This is the gear knob shifter dial switch thing, and you just sort of, that's drive and that's reverse and that's park. And what's quite strange is, you know, when it comes to actually flicking and moving things in a car, your body relies a lot on muscle memory. You know, driving, you're kind of on autopilot quite a lot of the time. So this morning, I mean, I jump in and out of different cars, but anyway, this morning, reversed out of my parking bay, and I'm in the middle of the road, and I went to change gears, and instead I pulled the handbrake up. So now I'm in the middle of the road with the handbrake up, and I'm still in reverse, and I'm trying to go forward, which was quite exciting. But besides that, though, definitely an interior I could live with. I'm not sure I need this fake carbon fibre over here, and that's not my vibe. Other than that, though, yeah, high praise, high marks. Ah, that is tight. Okay, that's my knee room. That's not great. This is the seat in my driving position. I'm 5'9", or for the fans of metric out there, 1.75-ish. I'm actually exact same height as Lewis Hamilton, although when I'm in sneakers, taller than him. Take that, Lewis. Anyway, I digress. If we put this seat in the director's driving position, he's 10 centimeters taller than me. I cannot get in the back here. So this is the biggest compromise you're going to have to make if this car appeals to you. You just can't really get adults in the back. It's maybe okay for kids, for very small kids, and it'll obviously be fine for baby seats. There's ISOFIX child seat mounts, but this is just not not a lot of space. You can just see I'm cramped back here. Anyway, there are 2 USB ports. The general seat comfort is very, very good. It's really, really nice. And you've got a proper lap belt and proper head restraints as well. Also comprehensive safety as well, with curtain airbags coming right the way along the back here. Now you might think that perhaps the manufacturer has sacrificed some rear legroom to increase the boot size, but the boot's not particularly big either. The boot. Now let me let you in on a secret. The way you open the boot is you gently run your finger around the O. It's a security feature. Talking crap. The button is actually under here, which is quite hard to find, funnily enough. Anyway, that's how you get into your boot. Now, the actual size of the boot is not great. 310 liters. Now let's compare that to something like, say, a Volkswagen Polo, which is a 351 liters. And if we compare it to something, a more natural rival like the Volkswagen T-Roc, that's 390 liters. So you're dealing with cramped back space and particularly small boot as well. You do have a biscuit spare underneath there though, which is quite useful. And the seats do fold 60-40, but as you'll see in a moment, after I get rid of the parcel shelf, how does that come off? I'm just gonna hold this. I'm just gonna hold this here. As you fold the seats down, they don't fold flat. I can't get to that one. But look, you can see it doesn't fold flat. That's not particularly practical. I can see why this car works in Europe. It'll be a lot more affordable there because they don't pay ridiculous taxes on their vehicles, and it is like driving a very luxurious car in a very compact setup. And I know that that goes down quite well in Europe, especially in European cities. I mean, this car is absolutely filled to the brim with luxury and safety features. Everything from lane keep assist. I've got a freaking massage seat, for goodness sakes. They're not electric. Why are they not electric? You get a massage, but you have to slide everything up and down and twist a knob to move the back of the seat. A little bit of a curious distinction that. But you do get all the bells and whistles that you might want from a much more luxurious car at a decent price in a package which is easy to park and easy to run around the city. However, I don't think that's what South Africans are looking for. I think we are a value-driven market, and increasingly I think we're a very value-driven market, and you only have to look at the success of the newcomers, the Chinese brands, to see that South Africans are looking for bang for their buck. I'm not sure the average South African motorist, especially a motorist with kids, is going to be okay with such limited space in the back seat. Yes, if you're single and all you need to do is run up and down to your law firm or your accounting practice and you hardly ever give anyone a ride in the back seats, then sure, maybe it doesn't matter. But I think for most SA motorists, they need a bit more car than this at this price point. One of the curious things about driving this car is the ergonomics, the driving position. I'm sitting very far away from everything. It's a strange thing. It's almost like a sports car experience. It's quite a low slung driving position. Well, much lower slung than you would expect in an SUV or a crossover. I mean, look how much I've had to extend the steering wheel to reach out to me so that I can make enough space for my legs, which are Italian and not very long to begin with. So it's just a curious thing. then because I'm so far back, nothing is really within easy reach. I mean, it's not a deal breaker for me. It's not awful, but it's just very curious. I can't quite work out how they've managed to package it in this way, because I didn't have this issue in, say, the Opel Corsa. Maybe because it's just more upright. I don't know. But that doesn't make sense, because then I'm low slung. I'm very confused. This car is causing me a lot of confusion. It's like I started doing this job yesterday. But that's how confusing it is. There are two Opel Mokkas to choose from. There's an Elegance model, which is more affordable at 469,000, and then this, the GS, which is top of the range, 519,000. Curiously, it's sold with a service plan which is longer than the warranty, which I've never seen before, so I'm not actually sure how this works in practice. But you get a 4-year, 60,000 kilometer service plan and a 3-year, 120,000 kilometer warranty. It's like, you know, that meme where all the equations are just flying past that woman's face. That's what I feel like right now. So you're out of warranty, but they're still servicing your car. Okay, I guess. Now at 519,000 rand, there's a lot of cars you can have. And I know every time we review an SUV, we bring up the new Chinese manufacturers, but it's kind of hard not to, because, you know, your rands are your rands. So this car is the same price as the very, very top spec Haval H6. And this car can kind of fit inside the Haval H6. That's a lot of car for your money. Also has a longer warranty as well, and a longer service plan. So yeah, as I was saying, South Africans, I think, are looking for value, and I'm not sure, while this is an incredibly well-kitted car and a well-refined car, highly refined car as well, I'm not sure this represents the sort of value that South Africans are looking for.
Thanks for watching. Now, did you know that Cars.co.za has a brilliant app? It's actually one of the most popular apps in South Africa, and that's because it's actually really bloody good to use. You can save your favorites. So while you're shopping, you know, if you're taking a couple of weeks to shop, you just save your favorites so you don't lose them. And it's also a brilliant way of finding new car specs and pricing. It's incredibly detailed. I use it all the time. The link to the app is in the description below. You can get it on iOS and Android, and it's in the Huawei App Gallery, I think it's called. Yes, that is what it's called. Cool, alrighty, and I'm done. Good? Okay.
Budget insurance. Affordable because you can't afford not to.
Cars.co.za.